Hello, this is Nicole from thismomentisgood.com. Today we're going to talk about lace stitches and how to do them on the loom. This is the chart we're going to be working on right here. And I'm trying to show you how it might look in needle knitting. That row 1 is basically the only one we're going to go over today. How you would do row 1. This is what it would look like in needle knitting. It'd be pretty short and concise. Because they have a couple things in their favor when it comes to knitting. They can push their stitches. They can slide them one way or the other and just do an increase. This is where loom knitting really diverts away from needle knitting. We can't do that. If you're on row 1, you would have a knit 1 here. Then you would have a yarn over. We can't do that yarn over. So by the second stitch of the repeat, we are already in trouble. So I developed a system where we don't have to do long paragraphs to say move peg 1 to peg 2 to peg 4 to peg 5. I've developed a system to kind of show you what you are doing. And because we can't just throw in a yarn over, because we would knit this peg, our yarn over would be here. Well, we can't do the yarn over because we have a stitch there and we're kind of fixed on our pegs. The yarn over would actually, on needle knitting, be taking place in between these two. They would just shove their stitches to the side, do their yarn over, and have one stitch increase. We can't do that. So how we have to do that is we have to move all these stitches out of our way. And that means we have to go from here all the way over here to this PSSO. We have to do that PSSO to make room for these yarn overs. Okay, so with that being said, now you know why we can't do it the way needle knitters do. So how do we do it as loom knitters? I've developed a system where I show you to count forward and move back, count forward and move forward a stitch. And I'm going to show you what that looks like today, and we're only going to do row 1 because the count forwards and the move backs work the same no matter what row you are using. Okay, so we're just going to follow along what this says, and we're going to start on this side of the chart. That's where needle knitters start, so right now that's where we're going to start. Your pattern will tell you where to start on your chart. For today's demonstration, we are starting on the bottom right-hand side. So our first stitch is a knit 1. So we can do that. We're going to just do a regular knit 1. We're using the U-knit for this, this demonstration. Now it's asking you to count forward 4, move forward 1. Okay. You always count from the next peg to be worked. That is always the peg after your working yarn, no matter where your working yarn is at that time. You always start counting from that peg until that working yarn moves. And I'm going to show you how. Okay, so we're doing a count forward 4, move forward 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, move forward 1. Now it's asking you to count forward 6, move back 1. 1, see we're going all the way back here again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, move back 1. Your tension should have been loose on the row before your lace row, so it should be easy to move your stitches. If it's not easy to move your stitches, your tension is too tight. You should not be struggling to pull those stitches from one peg to another. If you are, then you need to practice knitting in a medium tension. You don't want it so loose that they look loosey-goosey. You want them to turn out like this and look nice. Okay, so we did the count forward 6, move back 1. Now we're going to do the count forward 3, move forward 1. 1, 2, 3, move forward 1. Now we're going to do a count forward 2, move forward 1. 1, 2, move forward 1. Now we're going to do a count forward 1, move forward 1. Now look what's happened. We have room for our yarn over, and the next direction is yarn over. We're going to E-wrap this peg because that's what the pattern calls for is our yarn over. and then we're going to knit 3, 1, 2, 3. Now the knit 3 over 1 is actually our PSSO. We've already moved our stitches, so now we can just go ahead and knit 3 stitches over 1. See how I have 1, 2, and 3? And this is the 1 stitch at the top. So I take 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I did my knit 3 over 1. Now it says count forward 2, move back 1. 1, 2. Oh, remember, if you pull that forward, you have an easy place marker for where you start counting again. Okay, count forward 2, move back 1. 1, 2. Move back 1. Now it's telling you to count forward 3. Move back 1. 1, 2, 3. Move back 1. Now it's asking you to count forward 4. Move back 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now it's saying knit 3. 1, 2, 3. Now it's saying yarn over. Well, what are you doing? Yarn over. That means E-wrap that peg. All right, so then you have your 10 stitch repeat. And then if you have more stitches on your loom, you would continue repeating around, or you would go back and forth, whatever your pattern is saying. But the stitches always move the same way. You always begin your counting from where the working yarn is, so that you're continuously moving down the row. I had a client who was counting down the row. Well, you don't do that. You always stay with the next peg to be worked. That is your next peg to be worked now. It's not back here anymore. It's up here. It moves with your working yarn. You're not only going to really understand this tutorial if you have one of my lace patterns, but this hopefully will clear up how you do the count forwards and the move backs and the why you're doing them. It's pretty simple once you do it, and it produces really beautiful lace stitches and very complex lace stitches. And once you really understand that all CF means is count forward and all MF means is move forward, and then move back is MB, really there's not much more to it. It's just simple counting and simple moving. The hardest thing about lace stitches is knowing how to keep your tension loose. And that's just when you knit, don't put any tension on your yarn. Just pull it back. You see how that even wound around? It's not loosey-goosey, but I'm putting no tension on it. I'm bringing it back. I always tap the last peg when I'm doing my unit, but I don't yank on it. And if you yank that way, you've now made a flat knit stitch. The only difference between a unit and a flat knit is that slack you've created by doing the U. So you don't ever want to tug that way, because now you have a flat knit and a tight stitch. And I suspect that's what a lot of people are doing when they're doing the U stitch, is they're making a flat knit, like for socks or something like that, and their stitches are tightening up. So you just gently go back, and that's how you would do your rows to set up. You never do your units any tighter in lace knitting than that, because if you do, you won't be able to move your stitches. All right, so I hope that this clears up any confusion you might have with my lace knit patterns. If not, please message me. You can use the Convo system on Etsy, or you can email me at flyinginto50@gmail.com, or thismomentisgood@comcast.net. Thank you. Have a great day.